Everyone, SunTide here. A very tired SunTide who just played a bit of the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak demo. I think it's really cool, and so I thought I would quickly do some of my usual thing, check other people's work and see my own research on the game and let you all know what sort of cool changes we can see with the Longsword in the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak demo. And in short, basically here, we're going to go through the new Silkbind skill called Harvest Moon, some of the changes to the motion values or the damage with the Longsword, and the changes to the wirebug cooldowns that it looks like we'll get in this game. So yeah, first up, the new Silkbind skill, Harvest Moon. So basically this move can be swapped out with the Serene Pose. So the previous game you had the Serene Pose, which was this counterattack. And now in this game you have the ability to add more Silkbind skills and have a few more switch skills. You can change to this new skill called Harvest Moon. Now Harvest Moon takes 2 wirebugs, so I need to quickly let this one recharge. Here we go. And what Harvest Moon does is it makes this blue circle around you. While we're in here, our spirit gauge is maxed, so you can see it in the top left. That means I can use my spirit attacks basically unlimited. It's never going to go down. And while this is happening, our attacks will do counters. So that's the EI Spirit Slash, which you can see here, the Foresight Slash, which is this one, as well as the Serene Pose, which we can do by basically switching back to the Serene Pose. And now we can do the Serene Pose. So you can use the Harvest Moon with the Serene Pose. All of these do some extra damage. I'll go through the numbers later. What else this does is that if you try and escape this circle, the wirebugs will knock you back in once, and then twice, and then the second time the circle will disappear. When the circle disappears, your spirit goes back down to 0, so we can't use spirit attacks again. Let me set that up again. So Harvest Moon. You can also just go underneath the circle sometimes, as you can see here, and when you go leave it, the circle will disappear and our spirit gauge will empty again. And the circle will also disappear if we sheath our weapon. Let's just let this recharge. There we go. So if we sheath our weapon, the circle will disappear. Oh, running out of time. I was in this quest for too long. Okay, so it's important to note that the damage increase is actually relatively significant, and because we have the ability to swap our switch skills, so we can swap back to Serene Pose, and Serene Pose actually has some uses if you didn't know for wake-up attacks after monsters asleep, because it does so much damage in a single hit. So yeah, it's nice having the option to actually use both. We don't need to pick one or the other now. So yeah, that's Harvest Moon. Damage changes. So I'd like to thank first of all Death Cream, who did the research on Monster Hunter Rise, and Tilnor, who did quick checks on the Sunbreak demo. Do note that A, this is for the demo, so it could change for the main game, and B, this is just still a work in progress by Tilnor, so this could be wrong. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just what we can see right now. And I did some quick comparisons. All of these spreadsheets are in the description. So basically, quickly, EI Spirit Slash got a huge nerf. So the motion value went from 160 to 80. If you don't know about motion values, at least for the Longsword, most attacks have a motion value, like a damage value of around 30. So going from 160 to 80, well, first half the amount of damage, but is going to be worth about 3 attacks. So basically, we need to do 3 extra attacks just to make up the damage for each EI Spirit Slash. So that's a huge nerf. What's worth mentioning though is that Harvest Moon actually does a solid amount of damage. It does about 22 damage per tick, which is again about 2/3 of a free attack. And it seems to do up to 4 ticks of damage. I should have some videos playing on screen. It's a bit unreliable. Sometimes you might only do 1 or 2 or 3 ticks, so I'm not quite sure how reliable it is, and it might have some weird interactions with your spirit level. but it seems like it will make up for some of the damage with EI Spirit Slash. So to make up for the same EI Spirit Slash numbers we did before, you'll need to make sure you have Harvest Moon up. Meanwhile, Sakura Spirit Slash, Silkbind Sakura Slash, got a huge buff, so it went from 150 to 90, so basically over 3 attacks worth of damage. We also got some nice slide buffs, so the Round Slash combo and the Reckoning combo got slide buffs. These were the basically attacks from spamming your spirit. Round Slash combo got buffed slightly more, so it's slightly better relative to Reckoning, but Reckoning is arguably still perhaps better. Foresight Slash also got a slight damage buff in addition to the possible damage you get from Harvest Moon. So in general, we got slight damage buffs across the board, except in EI Spirit Slash, which is our best attack. So overall, I think this is a bit of a nerf to the Longsword's damage overall. And the last thing we want to talk about is the cooldown changes. And again, this is arguably bad news, because our best attack, the Soaring Kick Spirit Helmbreaker, this one had a huge nerf to cooldown. So before it took 20 seconds to fully recharge your wire bug, here it takes, I believe, around 27 seconds. I can put a timer on the screen to show you. But yeah, so it's a pretty big nerf to the cooldown. As you can see here, it's still going. Meanwhile, there we go. Meanwhile, the Spirit Sakura Slash seems to got a huge buff. So it was a bit under 37 seconds before in the base game, and now I think it is around 30 seconds. Again, I'll let the timer go around the screen. So yeah, interesting. It seems like between the damage buff and the cooldown buff, Spirit Sakura Slash actually got relatively strong. Meanwhile, Harvest Moon has a cooldown of 10 seconds and 20 seconds. So basically this means that overall, like after 20 seconds, you'll get both wire bugs back. But of course, because you use 2 wire bugs, it's like you use 1 wire bug for 30 seconds, which is about the same length as a Spirit Helmbreaker. I will put a timer on screen for this one as well. So yeah. Basically, Harvest Moon is relatively solid cooldown-wise. And yeah, I'm going to speed this up, I guess. I'm scared that the hunt timer is going to run out. But it should be fine. It's basically the end. Timer ran out. Okay, but anyway, it should be around 10 plus 10 seconds. So basically, in conclusion, thank you for playing. EI Spirit Slash and Spirit Helmbreaker received heavy nerfs, and these were our 2 best attacks. So overall, I'd say the Longsword got a bit nerfed. Harvest Moon seems to compensate for some of those nerfs, but not hugely. Meanwhile, Sakura Slash got huge buffs. There are probably situations, for example, if you were using an Elemental Longsword, where Sakura Slash may actually be competitive or better than Helmbreaker. But we aren't going to know that until we see like the actual weapons and look at the damage numbers in more detail. These damage numbers are still, again, preliminary and based on the demo. They can change for the main game, and there might be mechanics we don't know about. But yeah, overall, Longsword nerf, but it's still probably going to be very good. I'm excited for Sunbreak. I will be making more videos on this. And I'll be making more videos for the games that I haven't made, but I'm planning on making videos like Ring Factory 5. If you wait for videos, I'm sorry, I'll be making some soon. And 3 Hopes is coming as well, and then Xenoblade. I am very busy with work. I am very excited for these video games. I will try my best to make videos here as frequently and as high quality as possible. If you're interested in those, I recommend you subscribe. I will definitely be doing Longsword builds. I will perhaps be doing non-Longsword builds as well, if we get enough demand for it. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and the game is available for pre-order now. You can get a striped cat costume or a loyal dog costume.